Can you hear me on the mic? Sorry, I left my monitoring device in the house. What's up? Sorry, y'all. So glad to be back. Love being here. Let's move this mic up a little bit. Maybe like right here-ish. Carrie, welcome, Carrie. Plywood. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why that happened, Carrie. BW. Ben, what's up? Y'all ready? Here we go. For the algorithm. Not as perfect as I would have wanted it to come through, but sometimes that's how they do, man. Sometimes you get half a brand on there. Epic fail, guys, but it's all right. That's the thing about the wood fire heated ones. That's not even that bad, to be honest. This one came out better. That's why people get the electric ones. BW, I did finish that mallet. I think that's the one we're looking at right now. I also got another one. I made another one pretty quickly. Krober woodworking. Ah, you got jokes in here. Last time I checked, man, swinging around hammers and stuff is real man's work. I definitely can press buttons, you know, if that's what we want to do. You know, I'm just playing with you. But I love it, man. That's the kind of banter I like, though. So we got one, we got two. This is yours right here, BW. And I didn't want to put you. I was about to message you on Discord, man. If you don't want this one, we can certainly do something else with it. But this is the one I inlaid the heart in. That was the one I had planned on you. It's got the perfect brand on it too. So yeah, that's the one I made for you, man. I sat with that mallet all night. I put it in my room. I kind of looked at it in the morning. You know, here's what we do when this happens. And this is tricky because it can be a little bit hard to get off. You can try with sandpaper. Can't guarantee you anything. You can try with sandpaper, but sometimes you have to do some more firm stuff like a chisel because it's burnt in, so it's past a couple layers of wood. Generally with these type of brands, man, people don't redo them. If it's not right, it's not right, but you can still tell what it is. Dude, then it's yours, man. We're gonna send it over to you. I just got to take a picture of it and post it on Delon's challenge thing. Okay, Wes, welcome, Wes. Wes doesn't said my sound's off, but I'll be in the chat. Like a real man. That's funny. My superstition about my apron is going to come true, man. When I wear an apron, I don't get as good a view. You don't know that? We think about that kind of stuff. I got to go back in the chat, but there's something about, oh, BW said, Ply, how you doing? Wes Does It said, Wes, how y'all doing? Wes Does It said, Miss Heather B. Ply would say, yeah, Wes. BW Wood Turning asked me a question. He said, question, would you prefer a set of grinders or some hollow forms? She doesn't do much scent diffusion. We do candles, but she's not that into the scents. I would say probably grinders, especially since I can show them off to the fam, man. Like I show them to mom and dad, they'll get psyched about it. So I'm gonna say the grinders, man. Though I think I know what you mean with the scent diffuser. It's like a little vase, basically a tiny little wooden vase. Yeah, because I can't turn anything, you know, until I get a lathe, and even then I gotta learn. But I can't turn anything, so a pair of nice, you know, grinders like a pepper and salt grinder, that's exactly my speed. Welcome, Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin said, BW, hello. Rumpelstiltskin said, Wes Does It, hello. Now, I feel a little left out because all they said besides that was, hello there. So my ego is affected slightly by that, but we love you anyway, Rumpelstiltskin. Thanks for coming. At least said hi to Heather. That'll work. One of the two. All right, guys, we're going to brand this thing again. Hopefully I got that top nice and flat. I just want to make sure when I put this branding iron down on it, it's hitting as flat a surface as it possibly can. And you don't want dust on there because it's going to burn the dust and not the wood. Looks like the max I'm getting in here is 22. YouTube has, 32. Good. We're up. We're moving up. Carrie said, hi, Rumple. And then BW Wood Turning said, and for colors, I'm guessing red. Oil, wood grain, red, whatever's, you know I love wood, so I'm here in wood. Rumpelstiltskin gave me a big all caps hello, so I didn't feel left out. Appreciate that. All right, so this was the last one here. This is BW's wood mallet that's going to him over in Daneland. And then this one here, this one I believe is plywoods, but I got to double check. And then I'm going to take the one out of the clamps today because I got another one that I made. I've kind of got the system down now for the 3-piece. Outside grabbing my branding iron, putting it in the other side because it looks like one side's cooler and you don't want that. When they ask me, you know, do you want an electric one or one that's fired by wood? I said, is that a question? I'm a man. I want one that's fired by wood, you know? But now I know why people get the electric ones. There we go. Can't touch this pole. It's super, super, super hot. And I moved a little. You better. Man, so disappointing. At least that one didn't form. That's because there's kind of a divot. I don't feel like it's hot enough. I'm gonna let it heat for a little bit. Yes, it's a branding iron, but it is tricky. I haven't always had, this one was really good actually, better than I usually get. So lucky for me on that one, but this one hasn't come out yet. I'm gonna put it back in there because I don't, like if I put it down on here, this should like sizzle, you know? It's not sizzling, so I'm gonna put it like right in some coals. Let's move on then. A million things to do in Dad's workshop. All right, so let's take this mallet destined for Ohio, mallet destined for Denmark, two mallets destined for Texas, poor things, and this mallet, I don't know where this mallet is headed for. Yeah, I gotta heat it in, and you know, inconsistencies and stuff in the charcoal. Most of the time when you brand and it doesn't come out perfectly, you just leave it like that and pass it on. It's not supposed to be as perfect as the woodwork itself. This is what I've seen from people who do this. But I like it to look good, you know? All right, mallet number, I don't know, 6. Besides the ones I made for myself, I want to make another large framing mallet. I'm sure people would be into that too. This came out really good. Let's work this. Gagey, welcome. He said, Mr. Calvin, how are you? I say, I'm very well, Gagey. Thank you. How are you? First thing I want to go after is the glue squeeze out. Can't wait to get into this this bed, not this bed, this wood steam bender. That's like my next big project, and it's not a really big project because what I need to do is make something with that steam bender. I got to make a railing for this bunk bed, and I want it to have curves. I don't like that chisel right now. BW Wood Turning says, I use a laser. I'm just high tech like that. Also, more of a man like that. You know, using a computer and pressing buttons and making a laser do something super masculine, sticking a branding iron in a fire. What's the signal they used in Idiocracy? What do you do? You can't even see me do that. It's a battle of testosterone here. I love making mallets, but I do have to continue my other bigger projects in the shop. So pretty soon it'll have to come to an end. Well, I mean for now. I want to build some lighting fixtures. There's a guy I watch on Instagram. He's got great, like he does all bending. And that's not the direction I want to go. I just want my wood bender as a accessory, really. Oh, BW, yeah, it's late. I understand. BW say he got to go. Have a good night, buddy. I'll contact you about your mallet. It's almost ready to go here. Y'all know if this doesn't feel sharp to me, I'm breaking out the sharpening stone. Let's go back a second because Carrie has some stuff to say. Carrie said, I have been wondering why you haven't already. I believe she's talking about BW. Carrie says, isn't that why you put the first one down? It wasn't sharp enough. Yeah, so I didn't love it. Yeah, this one needs to hit the sharpener. But you know, Carrie, I think you asked us the other day, how often do we sharpen tools? And if I feel like the tool is not, like, this is ash, so it's a hard wood, but my chisels, I am very spoiled. Like, I keep them super sharp, so I'm not used to having to push or force anything through wood. Y'all should, if you watch the live, you probably notice I don't mess with no dull tools usually. Yeah, that big one, not sharp enough. Let me take these edges through the bandsaw here. Put my suit clamps back. Hey y'all, appreciate you coming to Dad's Workshop. Could be anywhere and you chose to be here. Make sure you double tap that screen, like the video. And then also, if you'd be so kind as to subscribe. I'm almost at 1,400 subscribers. I'm trying to get up to 1,400 today. That's my goal. So if you can help me reach that goal, it doesn't cost you a penny. All you got to do is subscribe and be bothered by me occasionally. I mean, I'm cool. So you want to be bothered by me. Thank you, Carrie. Carrie says, you are cool. Thank you for validating me, Carrie. Heather's in the house like, yeah, until he's not. It's like, nah, she knows I'm cool. Man, I love this vise so much. Shout out Chardonnay, wherever you are. This vise is the coolest thing, dude. Chardonnay bought me this vise. Rumpelstiltskin said, I sub Calvin. Thank you, Rumpelstiltskin. I mean, my PFP is Calvin and Hobbes. I love Calvin and Hobbes. And that kid was, you know, I would say he was nothing like me, dude, but I was like a lot like the kid in Calvin and Hobbes. I was getting into trouble. I didn't blame imaginary people very often or animals, but I did get into trouble a lot. He eyed, man. He eyed. That's funny, Carrie. That's true. That's exactly what she would. That's exactly what Heather would say. She's probably laughing when she reads that. He eyed. See? That's exactly what she would say, Carrie. So I got this little popsicle stick I'm using as a form. And it snapped. But if I line it up against the straight edge here and the straight edge on the other side, it should be relatively even. It hasn't turned out great, I'm going to be honest. Like consistency of curve. But I just want some curve, because when you grab these things, it's a little tricky to be holding wood, all, you know, squares. It doesn't bother me, but I know other people got really soft hands like BW. He's asleep now, so I can talk trash. Y'all know how I do. When they're around, I'll be quiet. When they leave, I'll be talking again. That's how I roll. BW has very tender hands because he pushes buttons. So yeah, he needs that handle that's really worked, you know. Now, Carrie is a member. Don't specify what kind of member, Carrie. I don't really, you are a member. And I'm so happy to have my members in here. Wes is in here somewhere. He can't hear me. He's got it on mute right now. I love my members. And we cannot bring you content without members. Not complaining, not complaining, but YouTube ad money is not enough to pay for the expenses we have around here, so we need members and we need subscribers. Oh, sorry, Norm. Welcome, Norm. Norm is also a member. This is a bandsaw. You just can't see it from your angle, Rumpelstiltskin. It's a 10-inch bandsaw, and I just kind of have it a little out of frame at the moment. I'm gonna take these corners down, but I'm gonna do it methodically. I'm gonna start here with this, with the handle. Little trick, and you hear this word in carving. It's a buzzword around carving all the time. I want to make sure I don't grab my stop cut. We're gonna make a stop cut here, and we use a small chisel so we can make the curve true here. Just to be extra cautious, right? That's why right there. You see that tear out? That's gonna have to be done on the other side too. All these people bringing you all this great content. I'm going to shout out those people, all my friends out there. Woodchucker, Mike. Mike is making stuff. You shout out Wes, who's in the chat. Wes does it. Crushing with his channel right now. Absolutely crushing. Couldn't happen to a better dude. So Mike is making stuff. Wes does it. Carrie's up in the house. Let me see who else got channels up in here so I can shout them out. Plywood does have a channel. He is enforcing traffic regulations in his local area. Heather B, definitely check out Heather's channel if you haven't, because Heather is very talented. And I'll shout you out when you come in. If you got a channel, put your channel down below. I don't mind. Let's go. Was in some good channels today. I watched Lions over there in the UK. That was nice. Sometimes BW's on a little early for me. He's like, I wake up and BW's streaming. So I try to catch it or catch the replay, you know. Carrie is working on a channel, that is right. I got all kinds of advice. I'm gonna hold it. But when Miss Heather starts doing her tutorial videos on production, I know there's gonna be a lot of people listening. And we got a lot of tips. You learn a lot of stuff here. But here's the thing about YouTube. What you learned yesterday may not be relevant today or tomorrow. What you learned yesterday on YouTube about the way it acts, the algorithm, what you should do, may not be the same tomorrow, may not be the same at the end of the day. It's tough. Well, I hope you catch Pilato alive. Miss Heather said, if you wake up to pee in the middle of the night, sometimes you'll catch Pilato live. And that is true. Pilato is the world's most innocent night owl. Because of my angle here, it's a little tricky to get in there. I might have to flip it around. I want to use that thin one here. I forget anybody's channel. There's a whole bunch of people who got channels. Dan, Woodshed by Dan. Dan's a nice guy. In the garage where I belong. You know, when a guy usually when a guy's like up late like that, they're hiding something, like he's like a BTK type. But Pilato's like up late getting ready for Sunday school. Let's read the chat. Plywood said I was only a few feet from one this afternoon. Almost hit it with the car. Carrie Frasca said I caught Pilato one night around 3 a.m. sitting by, was he sitting by the fire? And then Carrie said 1:30 a.m. Heather said, that's awesome. I always want to attend, but I don't want to immediately fall back asleep. Carrie says he has one of the best effects for comedy, and I usually just sit and laugh. Plywood said I was only a few feet from one this afternoon. Almost hit it with the car. That probably has to do with something up here. Oh no, I hope you didn't hit the deer, Plywood. Wes Does It said, Norm. That's a big shout out, Norm. Wes Does It, member of the channel. I'm a member of his channel. Become a member of a channel. Become a member of a channel. gonna tell y'all what live streaming reminds me of. And there is an excitement factor to it. Please double tap that screen. Like this video, please. Please, please and thank you. What live streaming reminds me of is when I was a youngster, I didn't know better than to go up to Atlantic City and gamble. So I'd go up there and I would play a lot of poker, and this is in the early 2000s. And I would see the same people. Actually, some celebs that you see on TV and reality show stuff, I used to see them up in Atlantic City before they were even on there. So, like, I won't name names because I don't want to get into that, but I've seen a few, you know, famous people around, not just once or twice, like seen them there for hours. But I used to see these folks, and I would be a few months, and I would come back and be the same people there. They'd all know me. We would all be in a great mood when we were crushing, and then when we were getting crushed, all of us would be hardly approachable or just look really sad. Now, it's not as bad to be in live streaming, but there is a similar vibe to it because it's so volatile. You never know, like, whether you're gonna have a good live stream. Are you gonna have a blooper and mess everything up, or not get any viewers, whatever it is. And I would say it was a meritocracy here, but it's not, because yesterday I was on live streams, and I'm not even talking about the folks I know. These people are crafters, so even if we don't get along, at least they're doing something on their channel. Yesterday I was on flipping through live streams, and I saw this dude who was saying over and over again, he was saying, I am a biplane, I am a biplane, I am a biplane, I am a biplane. And he had like a beanie on his head. And he had like 1,000 viewers in his live stream. Not a meritocracy, guys. Not a meritocracy. But that being said, there is a way to do it. And I actually have respect for that dude, because how many people can get in front of potentially thousands of people, show their ass completely, look ridiculous, you know, and then just say the same thing over and over again. Don't vary from it. I mean, that takes some discipline, man. It's like remaining silent when someone asks you questions. Most people can do it for a little bit, but it's hard to be like catatonic for extended amounts of time. It takes tremendous discipline. Or a person with a tremendously defiant spirit, right? Silence is the height of defiance. So when police arrest somebody and they don't even speak, that person has been trained in defiance, you know, to the point where they learn. They don't have to say anything. I'm gonna get what's coming to me, and that's it. Nah, not water. It's very hot here. 85 degrees and 75% humidity. So I have a furnace blower, 720 CFM fan that blows through my shop. It's just too hot, and even a box fan doesn't do it. So we got Wes in the chat. Everybody shout out to Wes, and Wes is crushing it. And so check Wes's channel out. Wes Does It. If you haven't yet, you definitely should. Wes is definitely doing it. All kinds of things: construction, carpentry, fine carpentry, a little bit of this electrical stuff occasionally. I don't know if I saw him do electrical, but I know he can. And occasionally I see him doing plumbing. I mean, the guy is multi-talented. He's a tradesman. Also runs a really entertaining channel, and it's fun to watch. tricky right here. I want to get this corner. Wes said, yo, pool saw. Wes said, sup fam. Norm said, you just wait. Wes said, I like it. Maybe I should get some more elaboration on those messages. Thank you to everyone who tapped that like button or double tap the screen. We're almost at 20 likes. And I so appreciate you all being here. Somebody who has not done so yet, double tap that screen and like this video so I can get myself up to 20 likes. If you have not done so, please do subscribe. I'm going to ask my mods to throw a survey on there if they could. And if my mods can't, then Heather can throw that survey on there. I appreciate it. Rumblestilskin said, someone should try that when being pulled over by cops. I'm a biplane. I'm a biplane. I'm a biplane. That's right, they should. And I was kind of surprised at his choice of words. I thought that maybe after I said it a couple hundred times, I might say it wrong. Like, you know how you say something so many times that you forget how to say it? It tricks your brain. Like, becomes a tongue twister. I mean, if he was saying she sells seashells by the seashore, she sells seashells for sure. I mean, that's definitely going to get you after a while. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells for sure. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells for sure. Try that one out. This here, like this. A little trickier to do this. There's like chiseling left-handed right here. Yeah, I accidentally made a joke like that when I was going into the airport when I was a kid, and the NTSB workers or whatever that was there at TSA. The TSA folks pulled me aside. My parents tried to stop me when I did it, but it was too late. because they were about to make me like go to a further search, and I was like, yeah, you know, because I got this bomb in my pocket, and they pulled me aside. Were like, don't ever say that again. That's a $10,000 fine and a year of jail just saying that. And I was like, all right, I ain't playing no more, man. They were very serious. I was totally joking, but that's my way, man. I make jokes a lot. Sometimes they're maybe ill-advised. You know? Good right there. Pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty common. I think they go through your stuff fairly often. They randomly select people on the randomly select luggage just to rifle through, and they leave that little note in there. Actually, it's pretty often for me too, man. Maybe 50% of the time I fly, they go through my stuff. Like in my experience, could be random, but I'm always wondering whether that's what caused the delay. You know, when there's delays, I'm like, it's them going through everybody's stuff, taking forever. And brought 21 ounces of shampoo. I'm sorry. I need a beanie when I say I'm a biplane, I'm a biplane, I'm a biplane, I'm a biplane. And then when I passed that dude's page again, he was like, if you dislike this live stream, you are cursed. And I like crossed myself and looked at Heather. I was like, I don't like that, man. I don't like that. Started knocking on wood. About to leave him a positive comment. Yeah, I'm not saying that they don't racially profile. Definitely, I'm not going to even go down that road of trying to argue against the principle of racial profiling, because I know that exists. But I do wonder how often that happens on, like, well, it happens all the time on airline flights, but like in the context of the TSA, you know. Oh, I smell something burning. It smells like my branding iron. I hope it's not burning. Cross your fingers. Really? Heather said they only checked my bag once, but I had a huge mess of wires because I was traveling for a film. I don't know about this. I don't know if this is hot enough. This mallet's a bear, man. I'm having a hard time with this branding. it needs coals. It's not working right now. We'll work on it. Some days good, some days bad with the branding iron. It didn't leave too much of a trace. I think my coals kind of smoldered down there. So we could do Shishugibon and just burn the whole surface of it and make it black, you know, as a protective layer. I don't know if y'all know what that is. Japanese wood burning technique. Now, this is my newest mallet. I know it's hard to tell the difference because I worked it so good now. A little bit more of the Thor's hammer top coming out of it. These last three, I was really into making these ash mallets, so I've done, the last three have been all ash. Also don't have any more hard maple, so this is the back with the brand on it, and then the heart. What we got here? Rumpelstiltskin said, be back in a few minutes. I'm hungry. Wes does it said, in violation of smoothness code 420. Plywood points up. Heather B says, now when they made me walk past the dogs in JFK, it made me anxious. Wes does it said, sir, you are over your freshness limit. Heather B said that was definitely it. Wes said, dogs be spooky. Wes does it said, I'm always thinking, did I eat meat recently? I don't want to trigger a false mauling. Today I had 5 dogs chase me on my run. They were super excited today too. A little pack of ankle biters. Norm said, for several years I flew all over the country for work. I bought the TSA pre-check pass, never get inspected, and a special line to go through to beat the lines. Oh, I like the special stuff. I want to feel like a special VIP. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dad's Workshop. Please, please double tap that screen. Give me that 20th like. I appreciate everybody being here. It's a little bit of a slow night, not gonna lie. Y'all know I say that when I say it when it's true. Or as the kids say, a little bit of mids. It's mids. I took a lot of stuff off right here. You're going with the grain, so you got to be careful. You end up pulling the grain below where you can actually work it. I believe it's Mike is Making Stuff's birthday on Friday. Everybody make sure that you tell him happy birthday tomorrow. I believe it's his birthday tomorrow. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. We want to bother the mess out of Mike. Tease him a little more. No. Is it Norm's birthday today? Happy birthday to Norm. Let's give Norm a wood clap. I have to use 2 of my made mallets here. Happy birthday to you. It's Norm's birthday, man. Happy birthday to Norm. It's Leo season, right, Heather? So Norm's a Leo. Right? It's not Virgo season yet, right? New Beginnings Woodworks. From out of the woodwork comes New Beginnings Woodworks. Welcome. Curious West, gotta ask you, what's that birthday? We gotta know. I mean, I had some guesses, but you probably already told Heather. I don't know. Two Virgos with divorce docs. And that doesn't sound too good. This needs to be the other way. Ah, okay. I think I told Heather I thought you might be a Pisces. Didn't I? Or I said, maybe I said like maybe Gemini. So I guess wrong. I mean, at least if I said Gemini. One more corner. I'm kind of, I don't know what the wood cut technique would be called for this. It's not chamfering, it's something else when you do these corners like this. You just don't want it hitting somebody, like pinching them or poking them with a sharper edge and them getting a splinter. So I'm going to kind of round it off. I gotta find my other file, because I would usually take my file and go over this. That. Well, there goes my draw knife or my ads. I have both of those down there. Man, there's some kind of a gremlin that comes in my shop and hides my most important tools away from me so I can't find them. And then puts them in a place where after I say that, I find them right away. It's nice to not have those chisel lines, like the huge lines. You know, on a small piece, you don't really want those. There are expensive houses. The richest of the rich pay for hand-hewed beams. So if they get a timber frame house and they're really rich and they're really fancy, they'll ask for all the beams to be hand-hewed, and then all the beams are actually hewed with a hatchet or an axe, rather than being put through a mill. And that's some fancy stuff. But the average layman would look at it and say, wow, it's rough and it doesn't look good, it's unfinished. But nah, it's finished. Thank you, Apple Watch. Apparently I washed my hands. Way easier than wasting sandpaper on that, guys. Somebody said, I think it was on Wes's live earlier today, somebody was like, it was a random comment. They said, hacksaws get dulled by wood. And that's not exactly, if you Google it, AI will tell you that, but that's not true. Hacksaws don't get dulled by wood. I mean, anything can get dulled by anything. You know, it's a blade. So, of course, wood can dull it. That's not what happens, though. What happens is wood gets in it, like you see in my file here. You see me slapping the file out? Wood gets into those tiny, on a hacksaw has very, very fine teeth because it's meant for metal grain. You know, like look at the grain in metal, like a piece of brushed metal, like steel. It's fine, so you need a fine blade for that. And fine teeth are not for every job. So just bringing that up. Just thought some woodworking area that I noticed in the comments today. It was an interesting statement, and not completely untrue, but also not true. So, yes, hacksaws are dulled by wood, but every saw is dulled by every medium that it goes through. It's not the wood that's dulling the hacksaw. It's the wood grains, dust that's getting into the saw and preventing it from actually biting. Didn't seem to hurt you too bad there, Wes. Wes said I didn't get much time in the chat today. You see how I'm yapping? I don't got very good numbers, so I'm thinking maybe I just need to close my mouth a little bit, you know. But I can't do that for views or clicks. It's not gonna make a difference. I need people who are gonna tolerate my personality. Tolerate my personality. Honestly, if you're cutting through metal with a hacksaw, I think in most cases you're desperate, right? I mean, I know that it cuts through metal, but if you're doing work with a hacksaw, there's a better tool. I cut metal with a jigsaw. Now jigsaws will cut through it now. Wes Doesn't says that's good info, Calvin. Heather B said it stayed pretty mild today. It did. Heather B said I didn't berate anyone. Oh no, I lied. I did. Excuse me. If we're talking about yesterday, you definitely did. I just was like this. I can't vouch for her. I might be nice, but I can't vouch for her. Mike is making stuff. I won't sing it. I won't sing it. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Look at that, dude. I hit my watch with that thing. Trying to claim insurance. What it do, Mike? Oh, nah. And I know he's about to be sarcastic. Mike said, I got a great present from the HOA. What, a cease and desist letter? Oh, we're gonna cut it down if you don't and charge you. Take your shed down. You painted the house wrong. One of those things. The shutters need to match everyone else in the neighborhood, so go and strip all the paint that you just paid $600 to have applied. Homeowners associations are the worst. The worst, and I worked for one. I'm waiting for Mike. Oh, I knew that would happen. Heather talked about that. You know what you should send them back and they'll say, what if I don't? And then make them have to write another letter. And that'll give you a little time. You know what'll happen if you don't, but you just ask anyway. What do you mean? Or something like that. Just stall it. Drag it out. Any victory against the homeowners association is a victory for us all. Now watch your neighbors too, man. It's one of them. One of them snitches. You should go over there and be like, I'm a combat veteran. That's what I'm not. That's what Mike should do. Mike should go over and say, I'm a combat veteran. How do you feel snitching on a combat veteran? How do you feel making me the one thing that eases my mind? The one thing that I love to do. You want to pull out from under me. Just do that. Go over there and pound on doors. While you were sitting over here measuring grass, I was fighting for your freedoms. That's what you say. While you had a ruler up to that grass measuring whether it was under 3.5 inches. I was ducking tracers. You know, that's what you gotta say. Something like that. Yeah, that's a good word of advice, Wes. That's true. I never heard that one before. That's another option. As long as they don't tell you your fence color is wrong. You probably got to approve that with them too. Mike said, I got to read the chat, not just respond to it. Wes said the homeowners association is going to make him get rid of his wood pile, and I'm very disappointed to hear that. Oh, tire supply. Get rid of your wood supply. Oh, get rid of your tire supply. That was Wes, sorry. Heather said, time to make a creative fence or wood holder. Wes does it, said, get rid of your tire supply. Mike is making stuff, said, actually, I gathered up this material to make planters for the neighborhood, but it's cool, your losses. Heather B said, make them do all that paperwork they love to do. Wes does it, said, quote, word of advice. When in doubt, Heather B says, drop your scrap in that one dude's yard that wanted your wood. Yeah, man. Get his coordinates. And then Wes Does It said, never pick a fight with someone who can hurt you by doing nothing. So it's gonna stick in my mind. I'm gonna sit here and stand and look at the camera for a little bit, thinking about that one. Then Mike is making stuff, said making a fence of the wood itself. LOL. Yeah, I think that's what Heather was saying. Though I do think it would make great content on how to keep your wood hoard and get the HOA to buzz off. And then Wes said, homeowners association often have the legal ability to lien your property over fines. Yes, Wes is correct. I'm just joking. Do not try to fight the homeowners association. They have a legal framework for everything they do. When you sign your mortgage documents, your paperwork, in that stack of 500 papers, there's probably legal documents around your homeowners association, your fees, dues, responsibilities. And so I'm just kidding. All right. And don't turn me off when I say that. Don't switch off now. And then say Calvin said that, because I'm definitely not telling anyone to, because homeowners associations, look, they have the muscle, they have the money, they're getting paid every month to do nothing. They have the money, they have the legal framework, and they have the power to take away your house. So you got to be careful. But fighting them a little bit though, Wes, like putting up a little bit of a fight, I think I've done that before. Like I told you, I worked for a homeowners association for a while. It was the homeowners association that my folks were in, and so I had a little bit of sway over what they did. But because I was in on all the meetings, I never liked them. I never thought what they were doing was right. I'm not a fan of home. They all go away eventually. The roads become public. The city, state, or whatever municipality absorbs the neighborhood, becomes a public road. It becomes a public neighborhood, and then people start doing stuff that, over time, just especially these like Ryan homes and Pulte homes, they're kind of just cookie cutter stick boxes, and they just fall apart. And so I guess they're thinking that houses that are only built to last 20 years really are going to last forever if everybody keeps their grass trimmed, and that's just not how it's going to work. So people who live in those neighborhoods, they have the money to afford a new roof after 5 years. And I can tell you, in the case of my folks, when they got a brand new house built by one of those companies I mentioned, they needed a new roof within 5 years. I saw the work being done on that house too. I was in that house when it was just a stick skeleton. In the basement of that house, we had a steel I-beam that ran the width of the house. It was what supported the house over the basement. And on the middle of the steel I-beam was a construction worker's muddy boot print. And literally that muddy boot print is still in that house, probably because that basement was finished, so it was covered up. But when they finished that basement, that muddy boot print was 20 years old or something, still up there on that I-beam. Now let me read the chat since I'm yapping. Norm said, exactly, Wes. HOAs can push you into foreclosure. They have been given too much authority. Yeah, but they have it, so it's like in their possession. That's true, Norm. Heather B said, as a hoarder myself, you got to find a way to keep it available. What about roof? Any way you can make storage up there? I love to make it an more purposefully eyesore that isn't one. Heather said, now all the pew pew sounds in my neighborhood don't seem so bad. My carport hoard would have me in trouble. Wes Does It said, you got to get on the board. Wes Does It said, you have the legal right to do that. That's true. And sometimes it's big neighborhoods, so you got to actually run for election. Wes Does It said, my HOA does a great job. We have 2 pools, tennis courts, volleyball courts, baseball field, basketball courts. That's a hell of a homeowners association there, Wes. Wes Does It said, my house is 40 years old. Wes Does It says, Mudfoot was here. And that is correct. Mudfoot was here. All my friends thought it was cool too. We had a punching bag in like a 50-pound heavy bag in my basement that hung from that I-beam. So every time people came to my basement for training, we'll call it that, they would notice that boot print. I trained my friend for a boxing match there every day, man. Poor guy. He's since passed away. Rest in peace. What's the first rule? Wes said, damn it, Calvin, you broke the first rule. What's the first rule? What, secure your workpiece? We gotta shut it down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. I mean, there were actually fights in my basement, like legitimate fights. Some between guys that didn't like each other, that wanted to put on the gloves, and then some between guys that didn't mind each other. But it's interesting, the guys that didn't like each other would do less damage to it. It's interesting, man. Like the fights between the dudes that didn't like each other would end more amicably sometimes than the ones between dudes that like were friends but just had to know who had the best hands. I mean, I can tell you, one of the only times I ever got knocked out was in my own basement. I was fighting a friend of mine, and boy, I leaned in for this body shot, and as I was leaning, man, he was throwing a right haymaker. I leaned right into it. I watched the replay too, man. That was all on video. So I'm like, man, what did I do to? I mean, I got you know, if you ever been, if you know, you know. Like, that's the only time I ever been knocked out to where it hit, you know, the jaw hit the balance stuff in my ears, and I just rolled. Yeah. Let's go back. Welcome back, Carrie. Wes does said, all right, Fight Club is now exposed. We got to shut it down. Yeah, it's no fun anymore now that everybody knows about it. I was about to start saying stuff from the movie. Wes does said, you talked about Fight Club. And Carrie said, I am back. What did I miss? Not a whole lot. We're just yapping. Heather B said, LOL, good. He's not allowed. Ha ha ha. No, not till we have insurance. No, yeah, no. I don't even skateboard anymore because I don't have health insurance. I was getting nice on the skateboard, and then I lost my health insurance. And I'm like, I'm not doing this again. Carrie said, it sure is different. I am blessed that I don't have an HOA. I mean, yes, and for the most part, yes. Unless you just live in a place where everybody is going to ignore it, you know, in that case, having an HOA, I mean, I've lived in them so long in my life, I get antsy when the grass gets long, even in neighborhoods where, and I've owned a couple of houses, and I never had a HOA in the neighborhoods I lived in, but I was always like real antsy when my grass got too long. It built that into me. You get it beat into you that someone's watching all the time. Sorry, microphone. And you start to act that way even when you're in areas where there's no HOA. What a boring conversation. Why are we talking about this? Oh, Mike. Yeah. Happy birthday. Happy pre-birthday, Mike. Mike's about to have a birthday. That means everybody needs to show up for Mike's live stream on Friday evening. He should do it like extra early. If he's not at work, he should start early. Tell them that it's your birthday at work, man. They'll let you out. Be like, yo, 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 cover me. Cover me for the rest of the day. I'm so determined to have symmetry here, guys. So determined. I want symmetry. I'm gonna have to sharpen these tomorrow. Can't believe it's almost Friday again. Fight Club Unleashed. Yeah, my brain can't take much more of that, dude. Pretty sure I already got the old CTE going on there. I think life causes CTE, man, to a certain extent. That looks like symmetry, man. Like, I see symmetry here, and that's not something I was seeing in my other handles, so loving that. Oh, I love that video. Norm said, Heather, that box on that dog's head is hilarious. Yeah, that's Ben, and he got in the potato box, and actually in that video, he's eating the potatoes out of the box. That's his major concern, is eating the potatoes that are in the box, not getting his head out of the box. That is Benjamin for you. He's our pity. Yep. Bless his heart, Benjamin. Comes in my shop and poops in here. Just let me know he's still around. Hey dude, I'm pooping in your shop. Do something about it. Even like I'll wedge the door shut. I'll come in. He'll have muscled the door open. He's a pity. Muscled the door open. Like, you're not gonna stop me from pooping in your shop. I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm going to poop in your shop. Go ahead. Try to lock the door. I'm doing this so I don't have to sand off that pencil line, because I would sit here and sand and sand and sand. Sometimes it's best to just chisel it if you're going to do that. I watched this woodworker, one of the biggest on YouTube, and he's an older guy. He's a cabinet maker, and he was talking about, oh well, if you don't use this and this tool correctly, then you're going to have to sand. And I was like, wow, this guy does not have to sand. That's how precise his woodwork is. He was actually I've never heard such a thing. He was talking about sanding as if it's something you have to do if you're imperfect. Let's go back. Wes does it, said he'll be right back. Heather B said, ha ha ha, thanks Norm. That is true, the dog is funny. Norm said, too funny. Heather B said,